0864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion. And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
We got a lot to talk about. Men's basketball, women's basketball, postseason hopes took a hit. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about where the Ducks stand in all of the postseason projections, polls, all of the good stuff, the nitty-gritty from the weekend. We also had Oregon lacrosse and Oregon softball go a combined 6-0 to open up their spring seasons. Softball going 5-0 in their Southern California trip, and George Mason was the opponent for Oregon lacrosse, and Chelsea Hoffman's team starting out 1-0 with a victory at Pape Field. We've also got some good tennis action to tell you about, a busy weekend of Oregon track and field. And how about Justin Hollins and Johnny Munt? Congratulations to the two Pro Ducks members of the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. It was a great playoffs in the NFL, wasn't it? A lot of fun games. I'll be honest, though, I was underwhelmed by the commercials. I thought it was an underwhelming year of Super Bowl commercials. Halftime show, well, I'm of the generation that loved the halftime show. Everybody who's about 20 years older than me, I get the feeling, probably didn't like the halftime show as much. At least that was the feedback from social media, because social media knows everything. Scott Phillips liked it. That's good. Good job. I'm glad. Anyway, congratulations, though, Justin Hollins and Johnny Munt. That was pretty cool. It was cool, post-game, I actually picked out Justin Hollins as part of the celebration, and I was like, Pro Ducks! That was cool to see. That was really cool to see. Tonight, Oregon men's basketball is in action again on Valentine's Day, a date with the Cougars of Washington State. 6 o'clock will be the tip-off. It's on ESPNU. We'll have a 5:30 pregame show for you here on the Oregon Sports Network. And look, Oregon did not play well against Cal on Saturday. A little bit of a dud, and they were flat. I don't know what it was, but talking with Coach Altman post-game, very first thing that he said, very first thing, they were flat. And I felt like it was kind of a surprise that they were flat. I'll be honest, because during pregame, I was actually in there talking with Coach Altman for our pregame interview right after the Ducks ate their pregame meal, and it seemed like good spirits. Everybody was up. Everybody was happy, and I was surprised that Oregon came out flat the way that they did. The Ducks had a nice start, though, leading 12-5. Then the rest of the first half was not very good. They gave up too many easy baskets. That was the difference, I thought. A scoring drought of 8 minutes and 36 seconds. Just can't have that, obviously, right? Just can't have that. A 24-0 run by Cal. And it wasn't just that Oregon wasn't scoring. I mean, it felt like the lid was on the basket there for a while for the Ducks. But it was that they were giving up that sort of run on the defensive end, I think, that frustrated Coach Altman. A 16-point lead for the Golden Bears at half. Ducks didn't get their first field goal of the second half until the 11:39 mark. Yeah, the 11:39 mark of the second half. So hit some free throws. They were scoring a little bit in the second half, but their first field goal didn't come until that 11:39 mark. So you do that in the second half after a 24-0 run in the first half. Whew, man. They did hit some threes late. They were shooting like 6% from three before some of those late threes finally went in, 78-64. And they just could not get anything to fall. So it's a 78-64 win for Cal. And you know what? Got to tip my cap to Jordan Shepherd. Jordan Shepard was really good for Cal. 33 points. He's been a guy that will score 20 points, but sometimes he does it on a really low percentage. Well, he was a great player in this game for Cal. 33 points, 9 of 15 from the floor, and how about 13 of 15 at the free throw line? Yeah, impressive. Ducks only shot 38%, and they ended up shooting 19% from 3, 5 for 27, but they had only one made 3 until late into the second half. 52% shooting for Cal. There's that too many easy baskets that Coach Altman was talking about. 26 for 50 Cal was. 35% from 3 and 6 of 17 total from beyond the arc. 83% at the free throw line, 20 for 24. The Ducks actually turned them over more times than Cal turned Oregon over. Ducks won the points off turnover battle 20-9, but they got out-rebounded by 5. You just can't get out-rebounded by a team like Cal and expect to win the game. So it didn't go well. So the postseason resume takes a hit. We know that. It's the third what's considered a quad 3 loss for Oregon. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, it means that Oregon is now 2-3 in quad 1. They're 3-2 in quad 2. They're 3-3 in quad 3. They're 7-0 in quad 4. If you're not familiar, the new net ranking system uses these quads to help you get a breakdown of how good a team's been against the best competition, meaning quad 1, and then it takes into account if you're at home, at a neutral site, or on the road. A quad 4 loss, for example, could be really hurtful to your postseason resume because that means you lost to a team that probably has a losing record and maybe you did it at home, right? That's what would be a quad 4 type of game. If it's quad 1, it's like a top 25 win. You know, it takes into account where the game is played, how good the opposition is, and it helps you kind of break down where a team would be in total ranking. Well, the Ducks currently sit at number 62 in the net. Yeah, 62 in the net right now. Arizona, just to give you an idea, is number 2 in the net. UCLA is number 14. USC is 28. Washington State is 46. That's the opponent tonight, and then the Ducks are at 62 in the net rankings. It's not the only thing that matters, though. I think that the net rankings give you a really good idea of where you stack up across the country. I still contend, though, that the Pac-12 is a 4-bid league. Now, certainly Oregon losing to a team like Cal that's considered, again, a quad 3 loss. Cal was number 146 in the net coming into that game. Arizona is 12-1 in conference, 22-2 overall. Well, right behind them now, after their win over UCLA, is USC. They're 21-4 overall, 10-4 in conference. Then UCLA is 9-4 in conference, 17-5 overall. Then it's the Ducks, 16-8 overall, 9-4 in conference. So Arizona 12-1, USC 10-4, UCLA 9-4, Oregon 9-4, Washington 8-5, Washington State 7-5. That's the Pac-12 standings right now here Monday morning. And the Ducks will play Washington State, a chance to get to 10-4, which would move them into a tie for second place with USC. Right now, Oregon owns the tiebreaker in the conference standings against USC. The Ducks could still potentially, when all the dust settles after the game tonight, if they win, the Ducks could still be sitting at a pretty solid second place in the Pac-12. Again, I contend that it's a 4-bid league. Arizona, USC, UCLA, I think, are all getting in. The key is for Oregon, I think, to finish in the top 4 in the conference, and then I like Oregon's chances. Now, where do they stand in bracketology? I know everybody curious about that. Well, Jerry Palm from CBS released his, and he's got the Ducks as one of the first 4 teams. Not just like first 4 out. No, first 4. Like the Ducks would play in the first 4, just like UCLA did last year on the way to the Final Four. From 4 to 4. We'll see. The Ducks are going to need to take care of business, though. They have to win tonight. You got to defend home court. Where the Ducks stand in some of the other bracketology, look, they're on the bubble. Depending on where they are, first 4 out, last 4 in, whatever, the Ducks are on the bubble. The loss hurts. Oregon, I think, was comfortably in the field with a win against Cal. Now they're on that bubble, squarely on it. Got to take care of business tonight, and then it's a big road trip. The Ducks traveling this week to Tempe on Thursday and to Tucson on Saturday. Big trip to the state of Arizona. So that's where the Ducks stand. Does it hurt? Absolutely it hurts. But they got a chance tonight to get one back against Washington State, and that's a good Washington State team. Again, 46 in the net. Could be a big-time win for the Ducks. Could be a big-time win. We're going to talk with Coach Altman coming up. We'll also get into some women's basketball action because they split their rivalry weekend. We'll talk with Kelly Graves about that and the rest of the week for Oregon Athletics with a bunch of things getting rolling. Quick timeout. When we return to Duck Insider, let's talk with Dana Altman. What did he think after the loss? What do they need to do tonight against Washington State? That's coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here. And, I think that this is it's a gut check for sure for Oregon men's basketball. But now, how do you learn from it? Well, they're going to have to learn in a hurry. I think maybe sometimes it's a good thing that when you have a flat game and the team's down, maybe you do have to bounce back in a hurry. Well, the Ducks have to do that because they were hurting, certainly, on Saturday, had a practice yesterday. Now they're getting ready for Washington State tonight. I talked to Coach Altman actually this morning. You'll hear it on the Toyota Coaches Corner coming up at 5:30 tonight. And, I asked him just like, how is the team? Did you like the way they respond? He said, well, it's tough to tell. It's a tight turnaround. But I think that the Ducks are in a good spot. Immediately after the game, though, you can imagine Coach Altman frustrated from this past weekend, and he knows now the margin is pretty thin. He talked with the media post-game, Coach Altman did, after the loss, and now they get ready for a 6 o'clock tip tonight.
Dana, was any of this in any aspect foreseeable at all? And I know the timing of it is so different, but you haven't suffered a home loss, anything like this, really. Does it compare in your mind at all to Texas Southern 3 years ago?
No, I mean, I don't know, James. I haven't thought about that. It was a flat effort. We came out and gave them easy baskets to start the game. They got rolling and we could never get it stopped. And then on the offensive end, our ball movement wasn't good. We missed some open shots, maybe tightened up a little bit, didn't shoot well from the free throw line. The free throw line could have kept us in the game. We didn't do anything that, required to stay in the game. We didn't get stops. They beat us on the boards. Like I said, we didn't do anything to give ourselves an opportunity to win the game.
You score on 4 straight possessions early and you go up 10-5. So it seemed like at least out of the gates, you were where you needed to be. Did you even have concerns at that point, or did something just start to change once they got rolling? Is this just a case of kind of the snowball got going down the hill and you couldn't stop?
Well, we got stuck on 12 for about 2 hours, I think. And, but no, it was just the easy baskets. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Shepherd got it rolling. You know, they went 7 for their first 10. They were at 70%. And I think the next TV timeout, they were still at 66%. And, you know, we just never got any stops, and we never got any energy going, missing shots. And, you know, I thought, you know, we could have hit a couple of free throws there right before half and got our press. Jacob misses the front end, and they come down and end the half, you know, with energetic. So that last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, we didn't, you know, we had to make a move in those two places, and we didn't. And then they controlled the clock, and we had to foul. They hit their free throws, 20 of 24. And so they did everything necessary to win the game, and we sure didn't. And it's like I said, the guys know that's a bad loss. And I don't want to take anything away from Cal saying that, because they played awfully hard and awfully well. And they played with tremendous energy. But, you know, that wasn't a good performance on our part.
Yeah, Dana, what was your message to the team at halftime? And was there any point in the second half where you felt like the tide was turning at all?
Well, you know, when we would get it to 10, you know, I think we got it around 10 a couple times. We gave up an easy basket or an offensive rebound putback one time, you know. So, you know, I think we got it to 10 a couple times around the 10-minute mark. But each time we did, you know, we gave up an easy basket. You know, Will hits the three finally, you know, and I'm not sure exactly what the minute mark was. And we're guarding pretty good. And then we mess up a switch and give them a wide open three right back, you know. So we just didn't do the things necessary. And, you know, it hurt us. That was, like I said, just a very difficult loss.
Especially early in the season, you guys had a ton of these shooting slumps that lasted 4 or 5 minutes. Tonight's was not. And as a coach, in those moments, what can you do to adjust? You just got to roll with your guys and hope they start taking shots in isolation, or do you try to draw something up different? What was going on there?
Well, I was really disappointed with our ball movement there. We didn't share the basketball at all. I think we had 4 assists at the first TV timeout. We didn't have another assist. You know, I think we had 1 assist in the next 20 minutes, 28 minutes. I mean, we didn't move the ball and didn't execute. And that's on me. You know, you got to execute better than that. But, you know, we tried some things and, you know, nothing was successful. We threw it inside a few times. You know, that didn't work. Our guys were just standing around, and they were more physical than us, and they're a big physical team, and they just took us out.
How do you keep this team from not looking ahead, big picture wise, because the ramifications of this loss might be pretty big for you guys, and just keep the focus on a game by game mentality? How do you keep this team in that mindset?
Just got to talk to them about Monday. You know, we got to put this one behind us. I'd like to harp on it a little bit and try to get some things, but we can't. You know, we got to come back tomorrow and get ready. You know, there's nothing else we can do. You know, it's a bad loss. We do have opportunities. I told them that, you know, to try to get them, you know, to put this one behind us. We got opportunities. You know, Washington State's ahead of us in the net, UCLA, USC, Arizona. You know, we got opportunities, but we're going to have to play a heck of a lot better and a heck of a lot more together and move that ball a lot better than we did tonight. But again, you know, on a night we didn't shoot it well, and there's going to be those nights. But to give up 78 points and to get out rebounded, you know, those are the two things on your home court, really, really hard to take.
Kind of following to that point, Dana, about when you still have 7 games left in the regular season and the math, you do have those opportunities, but this will have the impact it has. How do you go about it? Even that, maybe not to the players, but how do you, in staying where your feet are in the moment, where Vegas is always there? Yes, that's always an avenue, but to not just default to that, because there are these other opportunities where if you get some help elsewhere, maybe there is still a possibility for it large after this.
James, all I'm worried about is Monday night. I can't think about all that stuff. You know, we got one game Monday. You know, that's all we need to worry about now. I mean, I'm not going to think in terms of looking down the road or anything else. We don't worry about anything but Monday night. And I hope our guys take that mentality, because I'm not sure what we were worried about today, but it wasn't It wasn't California.
Yeah, I think that's a great mentality, right? I mean, you have to be living in the game that you're about to play, and they have had success in the tournament. There's no doubt about it. But you hope that it doesn't have to come down to that, right? Build that resume. Ducks got to keep building that resume. The way you do it, you win the game tonight. Dana Altman talking postgame, brought to you by our friends at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with cancer care you can count on. We're going to talk a little bit of women's basketball in a moment, but I do want to give you a little preview of Washington State. They're actually an interesting team. I think they're one of the more interesting analytics teams out there, and that's kind of what Kyle Smith wants. He's a third-year head coach at the Cougars, finished his first 2 seasons at 500 or better, joining Tony Bennett as the only Coug coaches to post 500 or better records in their first 2 seasons after taking over a sub-500 club. Well, Tony Bennett's done pretty well for himself since he was on the Palouse, hasn't he? And Kyle Smith's team, they play pretty good defense. They're only giving up about 62.5 points per game. Washington State is, and boy, can they really shoot the three. They've attempted 609 threes. 609 threes in 23 games. The Ducks have actually played one more game than them, and they've attempted 100 less threes. Oregon's the best three-point shooting percentage team in the league. I have to double-check that today. They were entering Saturday. But I think that this is going to be an interesting matchup between two teams that play a little different style, and the pace may end up really mattering. Because against Cal, that was something we thought about going into it. Mark Fox's team, he really likes to slow it down. We'll see. Ducks did not perform great, and they gave up there were a few too many easy shots there against the Golden Bears. They're not going to be able to do that against Washington State. And those threes, Oregon's going to have to hit some threes. I mean, they had one made three-pointer until the game was essentially over, right? It was out of reach by the time the Ducks threes started to go in. Hopefully those threes that went in late go in a little bit more often against Washington State here early on. The scouting report on them, they've got a couple transfers from one, South Alabama, to UC San Diego. Michael Flowers, a senior averaging 14 points per game, 38% from three. He wears number 12. And then Terrell Roberts out of UC San Diego. He's a 32% three-point shooter, scores 11 points per game. Those are probably the two guys to really keep your eyes on. And they don't have a terribly deep roster, but they have a lot of guys that can score at a pretty good clip. So I think about, like, how many guys do you have that can score a 7-point per game and above threshold when I start looking up and down a roster. Well, they've got a number of guys that are right at about 7 and 8 points per game. That just kind of shows you the depth. Different guys can do it each night for Washington State. And they are a team that's plus 3.3 in rebounding margin. Oregon is now entering today at plus 0.6. That's one of the lower numbers that we've seen in rebounding margin for a Dana Altman coach team here at the University of Oregon. So I hope that some of those numbers start trending in the other direction, especially as Oregon is now, they're in a tough spot. Look, there's no doubt about it. Oregon's in a little bit of a tough spot. They're sitting at 16-8. 9-4 in Pac-12 play, but a chance to pick up their 10th conference win here this evening. And if they do that, they're tied for second place, and they currently own the tiebreaker with USC. Oregon, under Coach Altman, is 15-5 against Washington State, but the Ducks have dropped the last 2, but then won the previous 4 in a row. So it's been kind of an odd stretch over the last 6 games for these two teams. You know, the series dates back to 1914. Ducks won the first meeting by a score of 24-18. That was not a football score. That's a basketball score. Oregon and Washington State, one of the Northwest rivals here coming to town. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit of women's basketball. It was a really nice win on Friday. Maybe we'll just recap that one when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one small step. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
We are back inside the Country Financial Studio, getting ready for Oregon basketball tonight. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. And, well, it was truly a weekend split in the rivalry series for Oregon and Oregon State women's basketball. So let's begin Friday night in Corvallis. What went right for the Ducks in the win on the road? They win 74-66 despite shooting just 36%, 35% from three, but they were 17 for 20. 17 for 20. At the free throw line, the Ducks were 85%, and they out-rebounded the Beavers by 1. They ended up dominating in second chance points 16-2. I thought that was the difference in that first game between these two teams. And Tina Paopao was great, 22 points on 7 of 21 shooting, though, but she was 6 of 6 at the free throw line. India Rogers didn't have her best day, 3 of 11, only for 9 points. And Maddie Shear just kept doing what Maddie Shear does. Scored 7 points, but continued to impact the game a lot of different ways with 6 rebounds, 5 assists. India Rogers, though, I shouldn't say had a bad night because she had 8 rebounds and 6 assists. I think you'll take that from India Rogers when she gives you 9 points. And then Yara Sabali, 16 points, 8 of 11 at the free throw line, and had 12 rebounds. So the Ducks dominated some key categories, and their stars, I thought, really stepped up in Corvallis. So 74-66, they win on Friday. You're feeling pretty good. Well, then they lose, and they give up 68 points. It wasn't the Beavers got the scoring really going in a big way, though I think it's safe to say that the Van Olhoffen scoring 23 points, you'd like to keep her under 20, especially after she scored just 12 against the Ducks in Corvallis. But in that second game, some of the key stats really, really flipped. Second chance points, for example, remember I mentioned that Oregon dominated in second chance points 16-2 in that first meeting when they won in Corvallis. Well, 11-3. Beavers dominated second chance points the second game. So that's how you get to 68-62, right? You give up about the same amount of points to the Beavs, but the scoring just was not there. The Ducks didn't get those second chance points. And to be honest, they oddly enough, dominated points off turnovers. In the loss, they won points off turnovers 19-6. But the shot just wasn't going in. 37% overall. And here was the biggest key. They go from shooting 35%, 7 of 20 from 3 in the first game, to 19%, 4 of 21 in the second game. You make a couple more of those threes, different game, right? Mathematically, that put it at 68-68. We're going to overtime, and who knows what happens. You'd think the home crowd would be pretty good, which, by the way, 8,404 in attendance for that game at Matthew Knight Arena. Shout out to the fans, man. There's a lot going on there on a Sunday that features a pretty large football game in our country. And I know that it was cool. I thought it was really cool seeing that amount of fans and the energy that was there. India Rogers, 16 points, but she was 0 of 5 from 3. Felt like she never got that big shot to go down. Tahina Paopao, 7 of 18, A little bit of a lower shooting percentage, and she did score 17 points. But again, 1 of 8 from 3 for Tahina Paopao. And the free throws, here's what I thought was maybe the biggest difference. And I'll just illustrate it for you. Nyara Sabali scores 13 points, 5 of 9 at the free throw line, 4 of 11 overall in the loss for the Ducks. She was 8 of 11 at the free throw line, 4 of 9 overall, scoring 16 points in the first game. Well, she was really the only one, I thought, that had the ability to continue to score in the paint for the Ducks. It just wasn't Sonona Prince's night, had just 2 points. And it felt like Nyara Sabali just never was able to get it consistently going. And, Coach Graves said at postgame that the Stars need to step up for the Ducks a little bit. Because ultimately, the Ducks go 12 of 17 at the free throw line for 71%. But the Beavers were at the free throw line, and here's why I say free throws were the key, 38 times. 26 for 38 the Beavers were at the free throw line, 68%. First game, 10 of 11. They were 10 of 11 at the free throw line in the loss. The Beavers were 26 for 38 at the free throw line in the win. So it's so interesting when they play these back-to-backs in women's basketball. Personally, this is just my opinion, I don't really like it. I don't like that you play the back-to-backs against the rival. I think it's weird stuff like this happens sometimes, and you just get, I don't know, I like to spread out the rivalry. Play them in January and play them the last weekend of February. I want the in-state rivalry to be a little more spread out. But I thought the free throws were the key. Those are just some of I thought the differences between the two games. But ultimately, what do I know? Let's hear from the guy that really knows. Kelly Graves talking postgame about the weekend split for Oregon women's basketball against the Beavs.
Well, obviously very disappointed. Another poor shooting performance. Oregon State, that they wanted that game a lot more than we did. Seemed like every 50-50 loose ball, even when we had it in our control, they took it away from us. We fouled too much. 38 free throws. You can't shoot 37% and allow another team to out-rebound you 15 and then get them 38 free throws and expect to win. And that's why we didn't win. So, coaches, we coached a poor game tonight. And our team didn't play a great game. And it's unfortunate because we spoiled a good crowd at home here. And I really thought we were starting to build some momentum after the Washington State game and the game in Corvallis. And then we take a step back. That's it in a nutshell.
In terms of three-point shooting, do you feel okay about the looks and the decisions to fire away?
You guys saw it. I thought we got pretty good looks tonight. Some point, got to make them.
It's 4th time in 5 games under 40%, Kelly. It's one where you can learn in a win. You got it in Gil, but you got it in spite of that. But it's 4 times in 5 games. It's physical style. It's half court. When do these issues about not just shooting but the style become a problem that has to get solved?
I don't know what you mean by style.
The style of the opponent, that they want to play a slower. You achieve winning not just by playing really good defense, but by being in a higher scoring situation. The teams who've beaten you these games, they try to muddy it up and play a bit slower. And
I think we can play at that speed too. You look at our shot chart. Okay, use an NBA shot profile and tell me what kind of shots that we got tonight. I thought we had pretty good shots that we're going to make more than not. We didn't. We haven't. I don't know what that is, what that's from. But if I make a huge deal of it, then it becomes a huge deal. Then it becomes a mental thing. We had shots around the basket. You got to make them. Sorry. You got to make them. Our stars got to step up in big games. Okay? That's what they just simply have to do. And I have to do a better job of finding a way to get them either better shots or more shots or whatever. So it was on everybody tonight. Our effort was there. We turned them over. We shot 20. How do you shoot 22 more times than the opponent and lose?
Coach, to the rebound disparity and the free throw disparity, how do you coach better, I guess, rebounding, boxing out, but also defending the rim without fouling? Because it seems like that's been a trend in losses too.
Okay, well, we out-rebounded them the other night, number one. Number two, they only had 8 offensive rebounds. So it's not like it was an 18 to 20 offensive rebound night. We just couldn't get any of the rebounds. so we've been a plus in the rebound category. I think a lot of the ones that could have gone either way, they were just a little bit tougher than us. The free throws, we foul. I'm sorry. Home crowd's going to think it's refereeing. It's not. We foul. And we got to do a better job of defending without fouling. They do. That's always been a strength of theirs. But now the other night, we shot 20 free throws. What'd they shoot? 10 or 12. Tonight it flipped. So I don't see a trend. You guys must be seeing I don't see a trend there. I just think we've got to do a better job of making baskets, bottom line.
Kelly, Van Olhoffen goes for, I think, 19 points on 7 of 8 or something like that in the first half. Do you think that's more just her making some really tough shots, or were you okay with kind of the looks you guys were forcing her to take?
Both. She made a couple of tough ones, and then she got to her sweet spot in that paint a couple of times. We did a much better job in the second half. I don't think she made a field goal in the second half, couple of free throws, but she's a good player, and came out aggressive and got them going.
You mentioned a shot chart, Kelly, and this is purely anecdotal because I don't have the benefit of a chart. This is purely naked eye. It seems like, not just today, but it seems like whether it's inside or even from the perimeter at times, you guys shoot stronger from the right side than from the left side, particularly going closer to in the posts and stuff. I'm not saying like it's a huge disparity, but it certainly stood out in the first half. Is that, again, this is to the naked eye, but do you guys have something to back that up that says that you're stronger from one side of the court than the other?
No.
The end of the first half there, you guys were up 3, I think 22-19. They finished a 13-0 run. What happened there? What was, you talk about not making shots on your end, but they obviously had some success offensively. What was the difference?
Well, I mean, I thought Mitrovic came in and did a great job for them, and we again, didn't defend her well. I don't know why she didn't play up at their place very much. She made a difference for them tonight. She was better than the Brown kid. I don't know. A lot of it was, we kind of just went through a dry spell, both ends of the floor. I mean, I don't remember the particular there at the end of the half. Sorry.
Kelly Graves, you can tell frustrated, and now they do have a quick turnaround, just like the men's basketball team. A little bit more time than the men, but for the women, 4 o'clock for that makeup game on Wednesday against UCLA. Pac-12 Network for the TV here at Matthew Knight Arena. 4 o'clock tip means a 3:30 pregame show with Terry Johns on Wednesday. And look, this is a non-conference game, so it's not going to count in the Pac-12 standings the way that the rules have worked out with it being a forfeit in the conference standings from UCLA. But the Ducks are going to get this game in. 3 at Matthew Knight Arena here, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. It starts with UCLA before the Ducks then take on the Bay Area schools in I will call this a pivotal home weekend. The Ducks were number 16 in the latest bracket reveal that the NCAA committee did a few days ago. They're not going to be number 16 now after that loss. However, now they got something to really work for here, right? There's a lot in front of this Oregon women's team still. But this one hurts. They took a hit, and they're out of the top 25 here today. I don't think that they're going to be ranked unless they get some more wins. Well, they can do that against UCLA 4 o'clock on Wednesday. When we come back, I want to look around the Oregon Athletic Department a little bit, and then we've got some more football to get to. That's coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You went
car shopping, you meant business. You ace vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesman to the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM. Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you. 2-Minute Drill always brought to you by Cafe Yum. Looking around the Oregon Athletic Department, track and field. Man, I'll tell you, it was fun to follow. The Windy City Invitational, 10 wins, 7 top 10 program performances on Saturday afternoon. Collectively, the Ducks left Chicago with 15 wins from the weekend's meet. And the biggest thing at this point is qualifying numbers, right? The Ducks want to get to be peaking for the indoor national championships that are now under a month away. And it seems like the Ducks have been doing that. Meanwhile, Oregon softball off to a great start this season. They went 5-0. We told you a little bit about that one-hit complete game performance from McKenna Thermos against Ole Miss. And the Ducks took care of business in their next 4 games, a doubleheader Friday, doubleheader on Saturday. Ducks are, I think, in a good spot. They had an offensive outburst in one game. They had some great pitching performances, a lot of great defense over the course of the weekend. And I know some fans have been asking about lineups and where everybody is. And, well, we're going to talk with Coach Lombardi on the program tomorrow. First, though, she did have some general thoughts for us after the ball game on Saturday, the second one, that is, as the Ducks went 5-0 to open up the Oregon softball season. Head coach Melissa Lombardi, her thoughts.
It wasn't easy, Coach, but you got it done.
It wasn't, but we did. We grinded and we got it done.
Talk about that first game against UC San Diego. A lot of production, getting the runner home from third with less than 2 outs. That was big today in that game.
Yes, we've been working in practice, knowing that can we get our runners to second and third with no outs, and from there, be able to clutch up and score them. And I really liked how we did that today.
That game was a lot of just kind of adding on one more. No big innings, but I think you scored at 5 or 6 of the innings in the game.
Yeah, I love how we kept scoring inning after inning. I think even if it's a couple still, we're constantly getting runs and putting more pressure on the opponent.
And let's talk about the second game. Finish it up strong against LMU. Some big plays on defense and big plays on offense.
Yes, I thought overall Paige Snicki had an unbelievable weekend. I thought she was so good on defense today. I mean, some big time plays. I love the play. The double, and we threw the runner out at second. I mean, what I saw today are things that we've been working on in practice were showing up in the game.
And KK Humphrey's home run, that really just changed the momentum of the game.
It did, and you know what? She needed that. KK's got power. KK's a great hitter, and so it was nice to see her come up big for us.
Then talk about Hannah Gailey. She's been hitting the ball hard this weekend and finally drives one out, too.
Yes, she's another one. I'm excited for her. She's in her senior year, and she's put a lot of time and work, and I love the way she's swinging the bat at the plate. I love how she's hustling around the bases and taking extra bases, and then just defensively, I'm thrilled for her.
And can't forget about today without talking about McKenna. Another strong performance, settled down after that first inning, and she just came through.
She did. She settled and went to some pitches that she's been working on that were really strong for her today. I thought overall our pitchers did a great job of giving us an opportunity to win in every single game.
What's your biggest takeaway from this weekend as we head home?
Just how we finished. I loved the energy that we had in the dugout. I loved that when we had opportunity to clutch up, that we clutched up. And again, just our pitchers and our defense giving us a chance to win.
Good stuff from Melissa Lombardi. Greg Walker, Sports Information Director for Oregon Softball, that was doing the interview. And, that's great, hearing a little bit of just what she thought right after a 5-0 start to the season, and we're going to talk with her on the show for our weekly chat with Melissa Lombardi tomorrow. So come on back and we'll give you the full breakdown. Men's tennis team beat number 21 ranked Pepperdine. Decisive point came when Joshua Charlton defeated the number 9 ranked player in the nation to give the Ducks the 4-3 win. That was at the Student Tennis Center. Awesome to see. The celebration pictures, I actually saw Nils Schielander posted them, the Oregon head coach, and God, it was cool to see. Coach Schielander said, quote, "The boys really deserved this one. They battled so hard the entire weekend, went after it with the match on the line. So proud of this group." That's Nils Schielander talking about his men's tennis team, a top 25 win for the Ducks. And women's tennis, they won their 4th straight, a 6-1 victory over the visiting Portland Pilots on Sunday afternoon. 4 straight for Courtney Nagel's team. Oregon women's tennis and Oregon men's tennis both getting wins this weekend. Your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Cafe Yum restaurants throughout Oregon and Washington serving Northwest-inspired catering and takeout for your next gathering or meeting. Menus at cafeyum.com. I think that was actually more of our 4-minute offense, wasn't it? A little more of the 4-minute offense. We're going to get a timeout a little earlier than normal today. When we come back, we still are going to sprinkle in our football interviews because we gathered so many of them over the course of the signing day special. Matt Powledge, let's hear from him coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. It is the start of Diamond Sports. We're going to talk with Coach Lombardi tomorrow, as I said, and Coach Wazakowski, Oregon baseball head coach. We talked with him this morning. Full season preview of Oregon baseball coming your way on Wednesday. That's the plan. I know a lot of people have been going, hey, when's Coach Waz going to come on? When's Coach Waz going to come on? We've got Coach Waz for you coming up on Wednesday for a full season preview. Meanwhile, those of you who have not listen to or watch the signing day special, we don't do it on the radio network because we don't take any commercial breaks during our signing day interview special because we talk to all of the coaches over the course of the morning. So that's why over the last week or so we've been continuing to air them on the radio network for those of you that may only listen and be in the audio portion of our audience. So today, Matt Powledge from our signing day special, co-defensive coordinator, he's going to coach safeties for the Ducks, and I had a really good time getting to know Matt Powledge. Matt Powledge, co-defensive coordinator, safeties coach. I'm Joey Mack.
Yeah, Matt Powledge.
We haven't gotten a chance to meet yet. So just I've asked everybody this. Tell us your 2-minute life story. Introduce yourself to the fans a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm from Huntsville, Texas, born and raised, about an hour north of Houston. Grew up there, went to high school there. There's only one high school in the town. Everybody goes to Huntsville High. Went to college at Sam Houston State, which is also in Huntsville. So that was kind of the first 22 years of my life I spent there. Got my first coaching opportunity as a graduate assistant, Southeastern Louisiana. First full-time job was at Northwestern State. Spent 1 year in the SEC at the University of Kentucky. It was Mark Stoops' first year. Traveled back to my alma mater, Sam Houston State. Went to the state of Louisiana, spent 4 years there. Ended up leaving Louisiana Lafayette, where Coach Billy Napier was the head coach, to go to Baylor University. Spent 2 years there as the safeties coach and special teams coordinator. Grew a ton in that defense, and then got the opportunity to come here about a month ago with Coach Lanning, who I had worked with previously at Sam Houston State in 2014.
Dan Lanning, you mentioned the 2014 connection.
Yeah.
Tell us about your relationship with Coach, and what about him was like, hey, man, I'm going to come play with this guy?
Well, I think it was pretty obvious on that staff. We had a lot of good football coaches, but he stood out as kind of the top guy, in my opinion. You knew with the energy, the passion that he had, the relationships that he built, and just the difference that he made in our athletes' lives just in that short time there. You knew the sky was the limit for him. You know, it was funny. We lived on the same street. We lived like 2 houses down from each other. So he had Sophia and the 3 boys were all in the house over there. And when they would want to go out on a date or something and they needed a babysitter, they would call my little sister, and she went over there and babysitted a few times for him. And so, yeah, you know, we had a real good connection there. Since then, over the last 8 years, we usually link up probably once a year, talk football, play around the golf, you know, and just kind of share coaching ideas, philosophies, things like that. You know, I'm a big believer in him. And, you know, the opportunity to come here and be a part of his leadership was just an extraordinary opportunity.
How competitive were those golf games?
Well, neither one of us is very, very good, but they were competitive for sure.
Yeah,
so we always would find a way to compete. Whether it was a couple other guys and we're playing a scramble, or if it was me head-to-head, one-on-one with them. But yeah, neither one of us really have any business playing a high-level game of golf.
Hey, but the competitive juices flow no matter what.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
You're probably competing to who parks first in the parking lot every
That's
morning.
exactly right.
Yeah.
No, he's one of the most competitive people I know.
You settled in yet? I mean, you starting to get settled in down here?
Yeah, you know, so just kind of tell you a little background, like my last month, we played in the Sugar Bowl on January 1st at Baylor, won that game. The very next morning at like 5 a.m. I flew to Eugene, was here on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, something like that, and then got married on the 7th.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, so we spent a quick 3-day honeymoon in Lake Tahoe. Finished up there and met Coach Lanning here right at the day after the national championship game on that Tuesday. And, yeah, I've been on the road, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, California, recruiting the last, you know, however many weeks it's been. And, yeah, so I guess now finally getting to get settled into to Eugene, but it's been awesome.
That's great. That's cool. I mean, I know that it's always tough every time you go through a transition, right?
Right.
And you guys are doing it during the hot period of recruiting. And so with that in mind, what do you look for in a recruit? It's a simple but obvious question.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, personally, I think there's a talent level, obviously. You know, when you're at one of the premier and elite programs in the country, there is a talent level. You have to, you know, be able to run this fast, or you got to be able to jump this high, or you got to be able, you know what I mean? You have to be an athlete. You know, I couldn't have played at Oregon. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, I'll be honest with myself on that. But other than that, like I'm really looking for elite competitive young men. Young men that are not just great football players, but they're have elite character. They take care of their business off the field. You know, I like to say how you do anything is how you do everything. So I think some of the best young men that I've coached or developed have, you know, used that type of motto, not just on the football field, but through the course of their life and their everyday actions.
as we're sitting here talking on signing day, so far 4 DBs signed by you guys, and
absolutely.
Again, I know that things could still come, so just stay up to date. All right, we don't want to get any angry NCAA compliance emails. So you and me both.
Right.
But 4 DBs coming in. We'll see if they end up playing for you in the safeties room. What do you like about this group? You feel like you added to the depth in your room?
Yeah, speed. Yeah, number one thing that jumps out. You look at a couple of these guys, they're 10.5, 10.6, 10.7 guys in the 100 meters. They run track for their team. You got a couple of guys that last year were tops in the 200 in the country. I think Kamari Terrell might have had the fastest 400 time in the nation last year.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, and so I think you look at just as far as size, length, those measurables jump out, and then you combine that with the speed that they have. That's the thing that really jumps out to me. And then, Trajan Williams is just a ball player, man. Ball hawk, will attack the ball in the air, tracks it well.
Portland guy, too.
Portland guy. Great kid. Really enjoyed getting to meet, his mom and get to know more about his background this last month. And, I think what I said earlier about really competitive kids, right, and then also being really great people off the field. Some of these young men, the 4 DBs especially that we just talked about, phenomenal families, phenomenal kids, really good students, and then they're unbelievable athletes.
We've had the chance. So those of you who are with us now, we haven't talked a ton about the individuals, but we do have film of a lot of these young men that you guys have been recruiting. So are your eyes just like burned by watching video by the time you're done with this recruiting trail?
Well, yes and no. I enjoy it quite a bit, but yeah, every now and then, as you watch guys back to back to back to back, you kind of have to take a little bit of a break and say, okay, you know what I mean? But yeah, we really thoroughly enjoy it, to be honest. I think the evaluation process is a lot of fun.
What's your defensive philosophy? I mean, how you want to go about coaching this room?
Yeah, so for me, I think in today's game and today's age, you definitely have to be multiple in what you do. And so I think more than schematics, I think number one, you got to have relentless effort to play great defense. I think your effort and your speed and running to the football can take care of a lot. I think number two, I think ball excellence, right? So what does that mean? I think turnovers, sacks, right? Things where you're attacking the ball and affecting the quarterback, right? I think those statistics really correlate to wins and losses. And then I would say probably third, I would say kind of the power of the unit, the brotherhood, the fact that, hey, I play and give everything I got, because of the man next to me and vice versa. I think if you can establish that, there's a lot of different cool schemes and cool plays that you can run, but, they don't matter as much as those other 3 things that I just mentioned.
Man, that's cool. I got to tell you, I could talk to you for an hour.
Yeah.
Matt Palledge, thanks for being here, buddy. And, hey, congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome
hey, I appreciate y'all a bunch.
Got married, started the job. Matt Palledge, get kind enough to take some time to join us, one of all the coaches who did so on signing day. We still got a few more to hear from over the course of the next probably few days, but of course, got a lot going on. Men's basketball tonight, it's a big one. Ducks, frankly, it's a must-win, I guess. Shoot. Are they all must-wins at this point? Like, you just got to build that resume. You never know what's going to happen around you. Got to keep building that resume. 5:30 pregame show, 6 o'clock tip. Ducks and Cougs tonight, a date on Valentine's Day. We got tip-off Tuesday tomorrow, Duck Insider tomorrow, women's basketball Wednesday, 4 o'clock, and then, yeah, a whole lot more. Baseball opening week. See you tomorrow.
Watch out! You got me! The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's butt.